Hey guys, it's Bailey from Making Up the Midwest, and it's time for some October favorites. So if you want to see what I've been loving through the month of October, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is a face product. A lot of you guys have been asking me in recent videos what I've been wearing for foundation, so I thought I would address that here because it has been a favorite for the month. It is Estee Lauder's Double Wear Light Stay in Place Makeup. Mine is in the shade Intensity 2.0. Now it's kind of funny that this is my foundation of choice this month because the last favorites video I did, my favorite was a sample size of the foundation that has a coverage that's a step above this. Now I ran out of that sample because I loved it so much and decided that because I have this and the Double Wear Regular as well, I thought I would go through those and really make up my mind as to which I preferred the most. That way I could tell whether I wanted to repurchase this, purchase the full size. You get the idea. Bottom line is, I think I am in love with the Double Wear Light the most. This stay in place makeup is no joke. This goes on as a cream, blends in super easily, provides flawless coverage, and then literally doesn't move until you absolutely want it to at the end of the day. As long as my skin is well moisturized prior to applying, I don't find this oxidizes at all on me, which is fantastic. Been loving this, and it's what I've been wearing for those that have been asking. Then on the rest of the face, I will use IT Cosmetics Waterproof Full Coverage Anti-Aging Concealer. Mine is in the shade Neutral Medium. This is kind of an all-time favorite. I don't want to go too much into detail here because I feel like I've talked about it repeatedly in multiple videos. If you want to learn more about it, I will link to those or blog posts, all the information I have in the info bar below, so check there. And then to set that, I'll go in with Serenity Scott's Pressed Powder Foundation. Mine is in the shade Fair. This is a product that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time, or a brand period that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time. I got quite a few of their products. I bought them at the Chicago Makeup Show a few months back and just never got around to hauling them, talking about them, reviewing them. So when I found myself really gravitating towards this for the month of October, I wanted to mention it, bring up the fact that I have a few other products, and ask you guys if you wanted to still see that, because there are some real gems from this brand. Obviously, one of which is their foundation, and I love this because it is a powder foundation. It provides great coverage. It still does a great job at setting your concealer, yet it doesn't get cakey. And push comes to shove, it is actually a foundation that you could just use all over. Now, talking about the rest of my favorites, these were actually chosen not only because I personally like them, but also because they worked for so many other people. October was the month of weddings. I attended 3, was in 1, and did the makeup for 2, the bride's makeup and then the bridal party for some of them. So these products are my mainstays, but I also chose them because they flatter so many other people. They were just stars of the show whenever I use them this month. Let's get into those. First up is the IT Cosmetics My Sculpted Face Palette. I did a full review of this that I will link down below. It is essentially everything you need to create a perfectly contoured face, from a highlighter slash setting powder to a genuine shimmery highlighter to lighter contour shades, and then 2 deeper contour shades down here. Obviously, it is well loved. However, it does bring about a problem that I have now found since reviewing this, and that is that you cannot put replacement pans in these. I'm really not sure how I'm going to replace it. Fortunately, these two are very similar, which is initially a gripe I had about this palette. Now I'm finding it as an upside, because as I run out of this, I will slowly gravitate towards this one. The bottom line here is, though, this is so versatile for one person as they shift from shade to shade throughout the year, from summer to fall, etc. However, when doing makeup across multiple different people, this proved to be such an asset. It flattered everyone. Everyone looked perfectly sculpted and contoured. All it took was 6 shades. So the way I like to use this is I take this lightest shade here and I will apply it in that normal 3 formation. I use that for an all-over bronzing shade to really just give the entire face a nice healthy bronzed glow. Then I go in with a shade darker depending on the skin tone. That could be either of these shades, and I'll really use that to sculpt the face, carve out the cheeks, and go into the temples a little bit more. Then typically I would go into this highlight up here. It is an absolutely beautiful, almost pink tinge shimmery highlight with ultra fine shimmer, so it really looks natural and beautiful and ethereal on the skin. However, I have an entirely separate highlight love that I'm currently wearing right now, and I actually recently did a video on them. They are the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. They come in a trio. You get all 3 shades for $25, and they have a doe foot applicator so you can apply them straight to your face, and then I like to go in and blend with my foundation brush just to make sure they blend really seamlessly in with the rest of my face which isn't hard to do. The shimmer in these is so fine and so natural looking. It's never been easier to get a lit from within glow. I mean, it's like instant cheekbones with these babies. It's phenomenal. These are, again, something that I used on multiple different people this month, and while I personally really, really love them, they flattered everyone. They're just a fantastic highlighter for all skin types, all skin tones. Absolutely beautiful. Moving on to eyes, I have really been loving Anastasia's waterproof cream colors, specifically in the shade Honey, which is very boring. It's just this very similar to MAC Painterly Paint Pot. It's a little bit warmer, and I find that it matches my skin tone more closely. It just glides on smoothly to create a nice even base for eyeshadow, but it truly is waterproof. It does not budge. Use this as well on multiple people for weddings. Through tears, it just did not move, didn't crease. It was amazing. There are 6 or 8 shades in this entire range, I believe, so you can go check out that review as well if you want more information. But all of the shades perform similarly in that they just don't budge for anything, which is awesome. But in particular, I've been loving the shade Honey this month. And last is the eyeshadow palette, and this is kind of a funny pick for me because I didn't initially love this palette. It is the Naked 3, and you might be wondering why in the world didn't I love it. Those of you who watched the review will understand, but it's not my favorite of the Naked palettes because of the lack of diversity in the shades. It's a beautiful rose gold palette. You have lovely pinks, some coppers, a little bit of browns over here, but when it came to creating different looks, I didn't find that there was a huge variety. There wasn't a whole lot I could do with this palette because there wasn't a ton of contrast amongst these shades, or at least not like you would see in Naked 1 and 2. So while the quality is absolutely on par with what Urban Decay typically presents, the shadows are smooth, buttery, look gorgeous when worn, wasn't my favorite palette. But this color palette in particular, despite not having the contrast, is perfect for bridal. Everyone wanted to use this palette. It does flatter so many different skin tones, and so this proved to be a real asset to have. And it truly is a pretty palette. It just isn't one that I fell in love with immediately. It took seeing and using on multiple different people to realize what a great palette it is. So that is everything from me. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my favorites. As usual, I would love to hear about yours in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
If you like this video, don't forget to check out some of the others I have. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!